through the fire and snow. Voices of a north in the cold wind blow.
Shadows in the night, but the stars still glow. If I fall tonight, let the whole world know.
Calling me home where the old gods stand. Through the storm and the blood red sand. The sky falls down and the rivers run slow. Hear my name in the winter snow.
Steel in the hand when the long ships sail. Cold in the lungs when the night winds wail. Came from the frost where the brave don't fail. Every scar got a story to tell. Drums in the dark when the war horns cry. Storm in the chest.
Boom! What's up? I lost my smoke. Where is my smoke? I don't even know what I did with the smoke. I feel better. Boom. Welcome to another episode of Giants Rush, where we talk Giants football pretty much every single Monday. Thanks for tuning in to another episode. We're rocking with the 2026 Giants season, and we got storylines. Last week we had Clem on. Week before that we had Clem from Barstool. Hope you guys are following him. Week before that we had Ryan Dunleavy on. We'll probably have him on next week. As always, this is never going to change.
Got to be the king.
And it is good to be the king. It's good to be here with you guys, because you guys have been asking me about who's going to be in the wide receiver room, right? We're going to talk a little bit about that. We're going to talk about like this running back log jam that we all of a sudden now find ourselves in. Good spot to be, of course. I see you guys are piling in the room, so thanks for hanging out with us. Kind of might be, we're feeling a little like the summer's over. So I do feel a little bit of that coming on. And of course, but I'm never here by myself. If you're a Giants Rush fan, you know this guy is always right next to me talking Giants football.
Hear the thunder in the hills tonight. Hear the old gods call my name. Stone and fire, remember me.
Call me.
Every fall became a lesson.
Now I'm rising from the ground.
Watch me fall.
Watch me rise.
Boom.
What up?
There you are. So I just got some good news.
Yeah, what's that?
Mr. Ryan Dunleavy is going to be checking in with us, right? Tonight.
Nice.
Yeah, we knew we had some. I knew we had some things going on, so I didn't think he was going to make it. So I'm going to forward him the invite, because I don't know if he needs one or not. But I'm going to forward him as we're talking. So I'm going to give the floor to you, because you, before we get into studs and duds and that stuff, give me your. You don't go into depth. Give me your elevator on, because you were fortunate to go to the game.
I was.
You were in Miami.
Yeah.
Give me your overall arching feeling of what you saw while I send this invite out to Ryan.
Yeah, well, first thing, that stadium is really nice. It's a travesty that the Giants have the stadium they have. I mean, holy cow. And the experience, like, everybody was friendly there. We were fortunate our tickets came with getting in the Lexus Sideline Club, which was an amazing experience. And really cool, got to meet Mike and McFadden's uncle and aunt prior to the game. Yeah, who's a big dude, tall and muscular. And he goes, Mike, everybody thinks I'm Micah's dad. He's like, but his dad is actually smaller than me.
Did you tell him that we've had him on the show?
Of course I did. It was the first thing I said to him when I went. So it was funny because we were behind him in line, and they had on McFadden shirts, and immediately I'm thinking, all right, you don't see a McFadden shirt around that much. I'm like, they got to be related.
Also,
so
remember,
the stadium.
They're from South Florida, so
I know that's why the brain was working, and we got in the stadium, and I saw where they went. They were like 4 rows down from where we were sitting. So I just went up, introduced myself. I had the Rush shirt on. I was like, hey, we've interviewed Mike a number of times. I was like, are you guys related? Because I see the jersey. He's like, yeah, I'm his uncle. And I was like, so yeah, it's pretty cool. Great experience. Loved it. Loved where we're sitting. Loved the stadium. In fact, maybe in a few years, we might move over to that side of the state.
Really?
Yeah, that's how much I like that side of the state. And that stadium's incredible. It's really a nice stadium.
You
Outside
like
and
the
in.
stadium because it's better than our stadium, or it was just a good stadium?
It's a legit good stadium. It's definitely better than ours. But the other cool thing is pay $10, go to the park and ride. They shuttle you over in a coach bus. You're in, out, and then at the end of the game, they pick you up in the coach bus. They bring you right back to the park. It's the easiest thing to get in and out of. I've never seen anything like it.
Really? And
Yeah.
does it look like one of those stadiums where there's like not a bad seat in the house?
From what I saw, yeah, I didn't see any bad states out. And another cool thing, met Mark Thompson. He came to the game as well.
I saw the photos of you two hanging out. I was like, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, great seats, had some great footage. Hopefully, Gina, our producer, I sent her some videos. Hopefully, she can put a little montage together. Did a couple of interviews. Got a new, at least 2 new subscribers. One I interviewed was already subscribed to us, so it was kind of cool. So hopefully, we can put something together and get that video up so everybody can see it.
Yep. And Gina's off today, so me and you were flying solo. And then, as normal, if you guys are, tuning in here, we always start off when the season starts. We do studs and duds. Basically, who stuck out to you, had a good game, who maybe just kind of let you down. Doesn't mean that you can't be a stud the next week or a dud the next week.
Right.
So good, and that's good feedback. I love hearing about the stadium. I love hearing about the experience. Love knowing that the McFadden's are great people, which we pretty much already knew. Love to get Micah back on. I thought he had a pretty good game. I thought overall it was a good performance. And then when you hear Burns talking about like, look, we just need to keep hitting people. Like he's his mantra is right in line with Harbaugh being a physical team. And that's what I got out of it from the post-game press conference of Burns being like, we can do better. We're going to do better, but we got to continue to just be physical.
Well, here's the thing. So I'll add 3 quick things before we go into studs and duds. And so this is the 3rd year in a row now I've seen the Giants live. By far, this is the biggest Giants team in those 3 years. Without a doubt, it is noticeably a bigger team. Number 2, they played a lot more physical, a lot more aggressive during the game with that. And the third thing, Arvil Reese is much faster in person than he looks on tape. I will absolutely say that. That dude is fast, like fast. I was extremely impressed with his speed.
Yeah, he seems to be, there's always that, are they going to pick up the defense? Are they going to, he seems to be very smooth transition for him. He's definitely got guys like Edmonds to lean on and Burns. So I think he'll be in a good place. Oh, look, guess who's in the green room?
Oh, nice.
Let's bring in the man, the myth, the legend, Ryan Dunleavy. Now, just so you know, Mr. Dunleavy, YouTube flagged me for your intro.
Oh,
yeah. Welcome to the club.
Yeah. So they flagged me for Sean's logo intro, which I've been ignoring for like the last 8 weeks. So I got his fix. Now I have to fix yours because
what is the problem with it? It's like
so you're not allowed to use copyrighted music longer than like 10 seconds. Like you have to keep it short. And then sometimes, even when you shorten the music, they still don't like it. If you mash it, and it's not quite recognizable, but semi-recognizable, they let you slide. That whole that jazzy intro that we talk about, I need to kind of like mash it with something else.
Okay, I was a big techno guy growing up. Mash it with some techno.
Oh, wow. Can you see Ryan at the raves?
Wow. Yeah.
I mean, not anymore, but when I was growing up, yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Did
you're
you
a
ever-
young
did you
man.
do
You can
glow
still hit a
sticks and all
rave
that
once
too,
in a
Ryan?
while. I can
There's not a young bone left in my body. My back went out the other day. So
from sneezing or something, right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I
can just-
appreciate you hanging out with us because we were just saying we're gonna. You remember we do this every year during the regular season, studs and duds. We'll definitely do that. We got Dolphins, we got Najee Harris to talk about. So there's a lot, and you seem in a good mood. So you look like you've got a man with some stories to talk about.
I don't. I wasn't actually at Giants today. I was just going to tell you I was at Jets today. So I was not at. I mean, I can talk big picture, but today I have not. Today I was at Jets, so I did not. I was at Jets asking them how they passed on Arvell Reese for David Bailey. So that'll be tomorrow's. That'll be tomorrow's New York Post story for both teams.
Because Reese looks like as advertised, the real deal.
So does Bailey.
Bailey.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
so does Bailey. I mean, I go to both. They both look phenomenal. I mean, Reese looks like a game-changing linebacker. He lengthy arms in coverage, breaking up passes. His pads pop different when he gets into a run fit, when he crashes down into a hole. And I've seen him do the least of, but obviously it probably excites you the most is I've seen him win some pass rushes. So, and then Bailey just looks like a game-changing passer. Bailey looks like a 12-sack guy on the line of scrimmage. Like he'll play a little 3-tech. He'll play mostly end. He dropped off into coverage once in the preseason against the Steelers. I don't think he'll do much of that. He looks like a pure pass rusher, kind of like Abdul Carter. So, I think they're both. I think there's a chance they're both terrific. So,
All right.
Wow.
Well, then let's do this.
Hey, baby, let's go out there like a bunch of crazy dogs and have some fun.
Boom, studs and duds. We do it every time the season starts, right? Because in the off season, we have no studs. They're all duds at that point. So Sean Ryan, if you don't know, Sean was at the game. He was in Miami, so he got a good close-up look of what was happening.
okay.
Yeah. I got to watch the game on my Fire Stick, so I got to kind of look at it from a bigger picture. And there's always a difference, right? Because I have season tickets to the Giants. I see stuff that people don't see. The off-camera stuff or the body language stuff or what happens, like, the block off camera. So studs and duds, I'm going to, Sean, give me your guy that stood out for you in this game. And I know Ryan was not at the facility today, but you might still, Ryan, you still might have someone that.
Oh, I have. Edward, are we just doing studs and duds from the game, or are we doing? From the
Yeah,
summer?
let's do studs and duds from Miami because you know how it changes every week. One week the guy's a dud, the next week he's a stud.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead, John.
My stud is going to be, and this might surprise both you guys, my stud of the game is going to be Deontay Banks.
No, that would have been mine.
Yeah.
I mean, he had some nice pass breakups. Again, from my vantage point where I was sitting, he was aggressive in tackling. He laid hits. He actually hurt, what's his name? Ali, I can't think of his last name right now, but he actually hurt the running back delivering a tackle, which, I mean, when have you seen that happen? So from everything I've seen, he was aggressive getting on tackles, a much different Deontay Banks than I have seen the last couple of years. And again, his pass defense was good, and Harbaugh even said he was sticky during the game, and I saw that. His coverage was really good. Now, again, I know people say, well, it was against their backups. Well, Deontay Banks is a backup at this point, right? So
No,
yeah,
he might be a
even-
star. Don't count on that.
Well, he could. He hasn't earned it just yet. But he's considered a backup
close.
at this point, I would say. So it was, again, when you're comparing backups against backups, he stood out without a doubt. So that's my stud.
No doubt. He
All
would have
right,
been mine.
give it to me, Mr. Dunleavy. Who stood out for you?
I would have said Banks, but I'll go with a different one here. I'm trying to find PFF. Hold on. Here we go. For me, it is okay. Here he goes. Yes, for me, it's J.C. Davis.
Nice.
He played all 81 snaps. That's almost unheard of in a preseason game. He played all 81 snaps at left tackle. He started out the summer or the offseason playing right tackle, but now they haven't played left tackle. So now the Giants have two young backup tackles who they drafted who can both play left and right tackle, and you feel like are competent tackles. Like in the past, Andrew Thomas got hurt and the whole thing fell apart. Now they have two guys. Neither one's Andrew Thomas. Neither one's Jermaine Illuminor. But now you have two young tackles who can both play on both sides. That's huge. That's huge. J.C. Davis, 81 snaps. He was able to show the conditioning to do that. According to this, let's see. According to this, he had 0 pressures allowed. How about that? 44 pass blocking snaps, 0 pressures allowed, 0 hits, 0 sacks. So just honestly, that's an Andrew Thomas-like performance. Yes, it was against Miami's backups. Yes, Miami stinks, but he's a rookie, and that is as good as you get from a backup. Look, if all goes right, he's not going to play other than special teams all year. So that's a great way for him to go into the regular season with some confidence.
I like it. I mean, but I'll put it this way. No one expected that, right? Correct. So, that's like one of these, like you're like, how often do you get something for the Giants draft a lineman and it works out? So, I'm all about it. I didn't think that you would go there. I wasn't going to go there, but now that you talk about somebody playing 82 snaps and he got drafted by Joe Shane, you're like, whoa, maybe the tide is turning here, right? Maybe I
don't know if he got drafted by Joe Shane or by John Harbaugh, but yeah.
Yeah, fair enough, right?
It's the Harbaugh show.
What's that? What's that, Sean?
It's the Harbaugh show.
It's a Harbaugh show. Yeah, I call it the Harbaugh sessions. I had two guys that I liked. They weren't bank breakers, right? No pun intended, the banks. But I thought Singletary and Fedoni both had nice games. And I had to look up exactly what they did from a number perspective, what it came out to. But for a guy like Fedoni that doesn't get a whole lot of love, I mean, he had 4 catches for 30 yards, right? And then, I'm trying to look here. Longest was 14 yards. But then look at Singletary, 8 carries, 40 yards, average 5 yards and a touchdown. Like, what else can you ask out of your third back? What could you possibly ask out of Singletary? Like, I think he gets discounted a lot.
I'm not sure he's the fourth back, but he might be third. And until Najee Harris is ready, he might be second. He might be I think he is ahead of Tyrone Tracy right now. So I don't see a scenario where he's the fourth back. He's third, and until Najee Harris is ready, probably second.
Yeah, I
will say this: he looked faster than Tyrone Tracy during the game. Like, I was actually shocked because I didn't. He looked faster than I've seen him look the last couple of years with the Giants. He ran really, really well in my opinion, and that was the first thing I came with to Ryan's point. There was I was like, he's looking better than Tyrone Tracy right now. Not to pile on Tyrone Tracy, but it's factual. Like, that's what I saw with my own eyes.
Look at his box
score. Like a faster, better runner.
4 receptions for 58. I'm sorry. Well, reading the wrong guy. He had 1 catch for 4 yards, right? He had 8 carries for 40 yards, average 5 yards a carry, had a touchdown, longest run of the day, 13 yards. It's pretty decent in a preseason game when you're splitting a bunch of carries over rushing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You had 7 guys with carries.
Yeah. No. I mean, look, he played well and he's had a good camp. One play that comes to my mind is him beating Arvell Reese, who I just raved about in coverage, on a wheel route in a one-on-one drill, and then almost taunting Reese on his way to the end zone, with a little attitude. No, I mean, he's looked good. I think he's had a good camp, Devin. So put it this way. Of the 3 years I've seen him, I think he's had the best camp this summer.
Love it. All right, then, Mr. Dunleavy, how about your dud against the Dolphins?
I mean, it's Tyrone Tracy, right? I mean, he had the unforced fumble on the goal line. He's had a week from hell, starting with the missed pass block. Then they signed Najee Harris. Then he Then he has the fumble. I gather he didn't want to do media today, which, I get it. Like, I get it. He's had a tough week. He knew the questions that were coming. Stand-up guy. I'm sure he'll do it soon. And he was on the kickoff team. And if you're on the kickoff team, that probably means they're not looking at you as the number 2 running back anymore. You're on special teams because you're further down the depth chart. He's been on the punt team most of the summer. So Tyrone Tracy, who's played almost no special teams his first 2 years, is now getting looked at as a special teamer. That tells you that they're trying to find ways to keep him around.
Like, all right, that makes sense. And sadly, but it makes sense, right? How about you, Sean? You got someone that jumps out of the box at you that you just disappointed in their play, which is, again, sure, they're nice guys, but against the Dolphins, they were a dud.
Yeah, so I was kind of torn going with this one as my dud because I'm not sure if they were trying to get him in game shape, get him more reps, trying to see what he could do with a lot of reps because they expect him to play more, or if he's not having the camp that they expect him to have, so he's kind of lower on the thing. But I'm gonna give it to Darius Alexander. I felt like he could have dominated more against who he was going against. He played a lot in that game. He played late in that game. Now again, there was some tough field conditions because of the rain that happened pregame and then during the game. So I know he lost his footing a couple times, but I didn't like the fact that he played as long as he did. And again, I'm not 100% sure if it's because they just want to get him ready to play a lot of reps this season, or they're like, we need you to be better, and they're sending a message to him. So he's my dud of the game.
Fair enough. Yeah, he's got an over in the box score.
It's the latter. It's the latter, guys. It's they are sending him a message. Like, he's not in danger of getting cut, but he is in danger of being, I think he was inactive week 1 last year. He's in danger of falling down the backup depth chart. Like, Chauncey Golston's the starter right now. They're going to add a backup defensive tackle, book it, whether that's by trade or after cut day on waivers. So then Alexander's now going to go be number 4/5 or 5/6 if they keep like Tuopo or Fotu. He's not going to lose his roster spot, but he's losing snaps by the minute.
Interesting. All right. Well, I normally would say my dud was Kayvon Thibodeau, but he didn't play. So I can't be consistent there. So I'm going to try this to see if this works. Ready? And my dud of the week is my second guy who I like to ride, and that's Theo Johnson. I mean, bro, like, show up and show out. You're fighting for as many snaps as you can get. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't see it, because how do you go from a drafted starting tight end to just poof? Like, I mean, he's nowhere. I don't know if it's that he's not winning enough reps. He's not winning at the point of contact at the line of scrimmage. Maybe his blocking's not impressive. They're not running in wheel routes. You got, one catch in second preseason for last year's starting tight end just seems awkward to me. Like, there's a message being sent, or there's something not clicking with the new offense. Like, he just doesn't seem part of this offense anymore. He literally feels like he's being shoved aside. I don't know if that's because, again, he doesn't know the offense. Maybe he doesn't like the offense. Maybe he's not producing. Maybe he's not blocking. Don't know what it is, but my gut is definitely Theo. And again, we may have some fun with it, each week and killing him here and there. But the guy was a nice up and coming tight end. Maybe I didn't love him like I liked Bellinger, but I don't know, guys. Sean, I know you're a big Theo fan, and I'm cool with it, but he just looks like he's like the odd man out.
Well, he's going to be the number 2. Oh, go ahead, Ryan.
Let me interrupt for a sec, just so that we have the most updated. He had a collision today with Kayvon Thibodeau at practice. Yeah. Harbaugh said he didn't get an update that it was serious. Not that he didn't think it was serious, just didn't hear yet that it was serious. So So, yeah, I don't know if that means he'll be sidelined or whatnot. But as we talk about Theo right here, let's at least mention that he's injured. So if he doesn't practice tomorrow or doesn't play Friday, people know it's not necessarily performance based.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I did hear that about an hour ago. I did see that there was a collision and Harbaugh thought that they were going to be okay. But Sean, anything here from your guy? Because there's something missing.
No, I mean, it's Isaiah Likely. The emergence and the signing of Isaiah Likely, it's going to push you down naturally. I mean, Isaiah Likely's a much better pass catching tight end than Theo. He's got, I mean, that's just, there's nothing against Theo against that. We knew that. Theo was a 4th round tight end drafted that was playing behind, Warren in Penn State, so he didn't catch as many. Now,
But
blocking's still good. Everything's still good there. So
he didn't play though. Likely didn't play. Likely didn't have any receptions.
Well, here's the next to my point. It looked like with Jameis in there was a concerted effort to get the ball in the wide receiver's hands. Everywhere that Winston was looking from my vantage point, and I was right at the 50-yard line, he was looking wide receivers. They ran more jet sweeps. They were throwing. I mean, he literally didn't look, and I don't think Theo played that much. I don't know what his snap count was, but a lot of the starters didn't play a lot of snaps. So,
yeah.
But from what I saw, everything was about, and they ran the ball more too, but it was getting the ball in a wide receiver's hands. So I'm not concerned about Theo. Again, if he's tight end 2 and he's blocking and he's a 4th or 5th option and he's open, he can catch the ball, that's great. I don't need him to be a stud this year. I just need him to produce. I need him to block well. Isaiah Likely is clearly the guy who's going to be the number 2 option outside receiving option outside of Malik Neighbors. So that's fine by me. I got no problem with that at all.
My point is sometimes guys just are who they are. Like, I know everybody expects guys to get better in the NFL. You've been playing football for like 20 years by this point. Like, sometimes guys are who they are. Like, and Theo Johnson might be who he is. Like, I'm 3 years into watching him. When he catches the ball, he's hard to bring down. He can throw a stiff arm. He can get some yards after catch. And then some balls hit him in the chest and bounce down to the ground as an incompletion. Like, he can make the hard one and he can make the hard one look easy and the easy one look hard. That might just be who he is.
Yeah. Yeah. I just think in a preseason game, you'd want to get him some reps, and Fedoni got more catches than him. Likely was on the sidelines, not playing. So it wasn't like Likely was in his way. They didn't really.
Fedoni's trying to make the team. Fedoni's trying to make the team. Theo's on the team. They got to figure out if they have 50 guys. They got to figure out who the last 3 guys are. Manhurts is on there, Johnson's on there, and Likely's on there. Do they keep a 4th tight end, or is Ricard basically the 4th tight end? That's why Fedoni's getting more spots. Not because he's ahead of Theo, because they're trying to figure out if he's 50 or if he's 56.
Okay, fair enough. I'm still giving him my dud because of it.
I
still think.
Listen, we know it's going to be either Tibbs or Theo throughout the majority of the season.
Saying, your number 2 tight end should have a couple catches in the game. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. If Eric Gray and Darius Slayton could get catches in this game, Theo Johnson could have had more than one grab.
I'd have to look at the snap count, but I don't think he played that many snaps, to be honest, Theo.
It's possible. Yeah, I didn't look at snap counts. Well, let's talk about the big news last week. Well, the biggest news was Najee Harris. Yeah. So, Ryan, I know you spent a lot of time with the Jets today, but earlier last week, Najee Harris gets signed.
I was there. Yeah, I was there. Najee Harris Day. I was there.
That was like eye-opening because, like, his name came out of the blue, and it was like, oh, he's at Giants. Oh, he's signed. Like, that was like a 72-hour thing. So, now this guy has 4 or 5. I think it's 5. Straight seasons with 1,000 yards. 4 seasons in a row, 1,000 yards. Then last year, we know he was injured. Where in your opinion, around the building, what you're hearing, like, what's the story on Najee? Because you saw what? I don't know, Sean. What did we see? 2 days of him in pads, and he looked pretty damn spry.
And the reports. Go ahead, Brian. I'm sorry.
Yeah, the answer is. What I'm hearing, not just my opinion, what I'm hearing is he came here not just to, fill Dante Miller's role, is he came here to be a part of the offense. whether that's running back 2 or what, or what, like, or a timeshare with Cam Scattaboo. Like, he came here to be a factor. Obviously, he was going to be a factor in the Chargers last year with a Marion Hampton. He's been part of shared backfields before. I think was it Jalen Watson in Pittsburgh with him? Yeah. So he's been the lead guy. He's been part of a timeshare. That's what he wants to be. That's what he's going to be here. He's here because Harbaugh had great respect for him in the Ravens Steelers rivalry. He saw how hard he was to bring down. That's the kind of running back Harbaugh wants. Harbaugh's never going to want his primary backs. He's going to like a Scattaboo. He's never going to like his primary backs to be like a dancer. He wants him to be a bulldozer. That's what Najee Harris is. So yeah, he does, I would say, look spry. I would say he does look like he's moving around pretty well for a guy coming off that injury. So yeah, the Giants didn't think he'd be as far along as he was in his recovery when they saw him. They thought have him, then maybe bring him back for a second workout. They saw him the first workout and they're like, he's pretty close. So we think we could get him ready by week 1. So it would not surprise me if he was in there and getting touches in week 1.
And Sean, we like him because of his physicality. He's not the most electric back in the world, but he definitely fits the mold of Smash Mouth.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's a lot bigger than people realize. Again, seeing him firsthand in person down there, he's a big dude. He's a big running back. So I don't need him to be that explosive home run hitting back. Like, to me, Harbaugh's mindset is we're going to punish people all game long, wear them down, and then that'll break open runs or open up the passing game more. He wants to physically wear down teams so they win the game in the fourth quarter. That's what Najee Harris is going to do. And from all reports at the joint practice, he was looking faster than people expected him to look as well. So that's a good sign. And Ryan said it earlier, and I said it last week when we found out he was getting signed, or he could get signed. He's going to be, in my mind, he's going to be running back too. There's no doubt. Like, the way Harbaugh saw him twice a year for 4 years consecutively, Najee played for his brother a little bit. And the other thing that's working in his favor is his familiarity with Greg Roman and what he's doing, because Greg Roman was the offensive coordinator in San Diego. So that gives him a leg up right there. All the things. And if you listen to how Harbaugh talked about him when they saw him in practice the first day, he's like, I got chills. He's like, it's a big dude. Just listen to what Harbaugh says. He's not going to give you coach speak the majority of the time, in my opinion. He's going to tell you all you need to know if you listen to him. Go ahead.
People think a complimentary backfield is like thunder and lightning. I think John Harbaugh's idea of a complimentary backfield is like lightning and thunder and more thunder.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's just more okay, my thunder guy is tired. I'm going to bring in my other thunder guy and we're just going to keep wearing you down. His idea isn't okay, we wore you down. Now we're going to hit you with the speed. It's we wore you down and now we're going to bring in fresh thunder.
Yeah.
So I think here's another interesting tidbit to mention to people who aren't familiar with Najee Harris. He got hurt in the 3rd game of the season last year. He had 3 games, 15 attempts for 61 yards, which of course, is not his normal stat line. But here's the other thing that I don't think anybody, and Ryan, I'm sure either you'll hear about it, you can mention it, I don't know, but not one person has mentioned about this cat's got fresh legs. When guys usually get hurt, they have ACLs, they have Achilles, right? They have knee issues, MCL sprains, right? This guy has got fresh legs. He's been down for a year. He's in good shape, but he's not rehabbing a knee, right? He's not rehabbing an Achilles. His lower body is ready to go. He's got, he had the entire year off. I think he's pretty fresh.
He did have an Achilles though.
But it wasn't a torn Achilles, was it?
Yeah, that's what kept him out for the year.
Okay. That's my bad. I did not think it was a torn Achilles. Hang on. I had to look at that. I thought he had
not a knee, but he had a torn Achilles last year. Same week, 1 week before Neighbors. 1 week before Neighbors.
Oh, before Neighbors.
1 week before Neighbors, he tore his ACL. Tore his Achilles.
Well, then you can just throw out everything I just said, because seriously, because I did not think it was a lower body injury.
It was. Yeah.
I don't know why I'm thinking that, but
he didn't go through a 6 or 17 game season with the punishment, so he has a little bit of fresh legs when he comes out. But again, like I was surprised with. I knew he was a bigger back, having watched him play in college, but when you see him in person, like
he's very big.
Yeah, he is.
Very big.
So he definitely took his rehab seriously, because his legs and quads and everything were
Craig. When I say big, I don't mean out of shape. I'm not talking like,
no,
he's not big. He's not big like Ron Dane. He's big as in like tall and muscular. So
yeah, week 3, torn of left Achilles tendon. Man, I don't know why I thought he suffered an upper body injury. My bad.
It's all right. It's good to be.
Oh wait, that's what it was. Hang on.
And he looked that first day of practice.
No, it was the eye injury I was thinking of. He had the eye injury on July 4th.
Yes, his firework exploded. And every Giants fan right now is thinking about JPP. He had a much less serious version where a firework went off and scarred his eye.
That's why I was there. That's what I was thinking. I'm like, I know he had an upper body injury. Yes, 100%. So Najee Harris, for me, I mean, I look at, as you just mentioned, like, if he's healthy, which he seems to be, he came here for a reason, right? If you're that type of back, you're not coming here to be back number 3, back number 4. So I think Sean, Ryan, I think you're both right. Thunder and more thunder, right? With maybe a little bit of lightning. You know what I mean?
That sounds right.
So I think it's going to be an interesting and fun backfield to watch, no doubt about it. So how about from because we're going to have cuts coming up here, Ryan.
Oh yeah. Sunday.
And there's just so much focus on the wide receiver room.
Oof.
And I'm sure everyone's tired of talking about it, but that's
a big story.
Is anyone, and I'm going to start with you on this, Sean, because I just want an honest opinion.
Yeah.
Are you overly impressed with Austin or Mooney at this point?
So we haven't seen Mooney in a preseason game as of yet with that. So it's hard to say. I know some reports, I think he did look pretty good against the Dolphins, especially in one-on-ones. I will say Austin did look good returning punts on Saturday. He looked good on a jet sweep as well. So there were some good things I saw there, which makes me wonder if him and Berrios on the roster, and we talked about this way back when we said what receivers. I said to me it'd come down to Austin or Berrios. So would they keep both Austin and Berrios? I don't think so. Now Berrios is dealing with a little soft tissue injury right now, so if he comes back with that, I still believe that Berrios could be. They try to sneak him on the practice squad potentially. But I did like what I saw from Austin. Again, he got a lot of looks this weekend. He got a lot of opportunities to do some things. And I thought he looked really good on punt returns, honestly.
How about you, Ryan?
All right. So I have a long-winded answer on this.
Please.
I've thought a lot about this. So, I literally jotted down a 53 just because of the receivers. So to answer Craig's original question, yes, in West Virginia, Austin impressed me. I thought he was the best, most consistent receiver they had when we were in West Virginia for 10 days. He was constantly open for 8, 9, 10 yards, not big plays, but like a security blanket type guy who, when Dart was on the move, he looked for him and he caught everything that was thrown to him. So yes, he has impressed me. Not as much since the preseason game started, though there's less practices when the preseason game started. Mooney less so, but not to an alarm. Like Kenny Golladay got here and I was like, uh-oh, this is trouble. Like Mooney hasn't been alarming. He just has been like Darius Slayton-esque. Like sometimes he makes plays, sometimes he doesn't. Some practices he's very involved, some practices he's not. And I use that comparison because I think their skill sets are very overlapping. So I don't know that the Giants need Calvin Austin and Braxton Berrios, and I don't know that the Giants need Darnell Mooney and Darius Slayton. So if you could trade Mooney or Slayton, then I think that opens up some things for you on your roster. Short of that, I would probably side with Sean and say, I think you could get Berrios back on the practice squad. To keep 6 receivers is Neighbors, Slayton, Mooney, Fields, Austin. Those 5 locked. Then 6 becomes Beckham or Berrios. I think you're probably keeping Beckham there, trying to get Berrios on the practice squad. Then there's Dalen Cambry, who, if it's truly a meritocracy, has earned the right to be on this team. He's been one of the 53 best players.
Yeah.
There's almost no chance he's on the team because you can just cut him and put him on the practice. No one's picking him up on waivers. You give him some guaranteed money. You put him on the practice squad and you can call him up. So I don't think that's as much of a problem as everybody else thinks it is. So I would say Berrios and Cambry don't make it, and they're possible call-ups, and Beckham does make it. You could also keep 7 guys. To answer my own question, 2 days ago, I jotted down a 53. I ended up keeping Berrios and Beckham. I had 53. I had 7 receivers on my 53. Not the wisest use of resources, but I was just trying to keep who I thought were the 53 best players. So
okay,
I'm not gonna keep a. I don't remember. I didn't keep a 5th safety or 6th inside linebacker just for giggles. I kept who I thought were the 53 best players.
Yeah.
And you mentioned it, with tongue in cheek a little bit, but is there an opportunity to trade one of these other Slayton or Mooney?
I don't think it's tongue in cheek. I mentioned it in today's post. The Texans just traded for Kayshon Boutte, right? Like, I thought that they were a team who might call the Giants about one of their 2 guys. They're obviously probably off the board now that they traded Kayshon Boutte. Now, hey, now maybe the Patriots are a team that's interested in making a trade. Look, receivers get hurt. We know this happens. It's going to happen here in the last week. That's a position where it's not a bad thing to have some stockpile. Harbaugh said today there's a couple positions they think they're deep, and they're trying to make calls to see what kind of trades they can make. I would not be surprised at all if receiver was on their mind. Slayton and Mooney are 2 of the top 4, let's call them, receivers. So you're not just giving them away. I know how Giants fans feel about Darius Slayton. You're not giving Darius Slayton away for a 7th round pick because it makes your team worse. Right. So if you could trade him for a defensive tackle, if you pick up some of his contract, who knows? But, like, you're not just dumping Darius Slayton. Darnell Mooney would be easier to trade probably because the contract's different. My guess is push comes to shove, they're both on the team, but I do see where, like, they have very overlapping skill sets, so I'm not sure you need both.
So okay, so if you're playing roulette here, and you got to choose one or the other, you're taking Austin and moving Mooney.
Yeah, I mean, Austin plays a role that the other guys do. Like, Austin's the shifty slot guy, so, like, I guess you could tell me that, like, Odell could do that, or I guess you could tell me Mooney could do that, but, like, Austin, they don't have – Austin's like I hate the term poor man's, but Austin's like a lesser caliber but also much cheaper Wan'Dale Robinson. They don't really have another guy like that on this roster. Bless you.
Thank you. I had to turn my mic off while I was sneezing. All right, I like that. Any thought here, Sean? I mean, we both went into this, you and I, very happy. Like, Mooney and Austin were 2, like, hey, look, these guys are going to help. They're going to make the team faster. We didn't know early on when we were talking about May, right, when these guys were getting signed, we didn't think OBJ was even on the roster. That was just like a pipe dream. And he looks healthy. He looks a little lighter. And, hey, look, he can only do what he can do. You throw the ball at him twice a game and he catches it one time, like, he's done pretty much what you want him to do. So I don't have any expectations right now from Beckham, but I'm kind of curious what you think about what Ryan just said when we talk about Austin and Mooney, because at one point we thought they were going to have a big role, and it hasn't worked out that way. Like, Mooney, like I said, Mooney's very, he's there sometimes he's not. Austin seems like, again, could be Dart's, bailout guy. Remember how many times Robinson bailed out
Right.
Mhm.
Right.
Jones all those years.
It'll be interesting. I think a couple things with, Mooney. Does that familiarity with Matt Nagy? Does that give him an edge at this point? The other thing is Harbaugh's not afraid to go unconventional with his 53 roster. He's carried 7 receivers before. He's done 9 linemen before. He's done 4 running backs a few times. So it's not like he's not willing to go against the grain of what everybody else does. So it would not surprise me in the least if he decided to carry 7 receivers. But then, okay, you can't go 4 running backs and 7 receivers. Like, so what goes there? You can do 9 linemen, which I don't, with the depth we have, and there's probably some guys you can sneak on the practice squad with linemen if you needed to call ups from that standpoint. So my personal feeling right now is they're going to go with 9 linemen, and they're either going to go 7 wide receivers or 4 running backs to balance that out. So I
It's 5 running backs if you count Ricard.
True.
Yeah, I thought we were slotting him at tight end.
Yeah, I'm just sure.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he gets his own spot fullback thing. So even with doing that, like he's had the fullback, he's done 9 linemen, 4 running backs. So, because Ricard was never factored into the running back room when he carried 4 running backs before. So I guess my thing is this is like, all right, if you look at how much, Ryan, let me ask you this, because I know the contract comes up a lot with Darius Slayton. Like, is his contract really that untradeable where we'll hang on to him because Mooney is that much easier to move? Like, is that really that big of a deterrent for other teams to not trade for Darius Slayton?
Yes. Okay. The answer to that is yes. I've asked that question around the league. No one's giving you comparable value and taking on that contract. Like maybe maybe they take the contract off your hands for a 7th round pick, but then you get nothing back for a good for a pretty decent play for a starting caliber player. And then if you want a starting caliber player back, well, then you're going to have to eat some of the contract.
Here's his numbers too, Sean. So his contract base is 12.25. Okay.
Yeah.
He's got a 3,000. He's got a
16 million, right?
Yeah, he's got a $3 million signing bonus. Okay. He's got a $250,000 workout bonus, which is pretty typical, right? But here's where Ryan's point comes in. His cap hit is 15.9, right? His dead cap number is 15.7. You can't eat $15 million.
Well, but if you trade him, your dead money is 6 and you save 9.9. So
yeah.
So the other team would be taking on the salary, which is 12.2.
Yep.
Yeah. So the other team would be taking on the $12.2 million because you've already paid him the signing bonus, the workout bonus. So yeah, the other team would be taking out on $12.2 million in salary. That's a lot to pay for Darius Slayton. So you would have to eat some of that to get some value back, and that only would add on to your 6. So right now it's 6 million dead and 9.9 saved. You probably have to flip those and end up with 9.9 dead and 6 million saved or something like that.
And part of the reason why this is happening, this is being talked about, is the emergence of Malachi Fields. There's no doubt in my mind he's going to be wide receiver too, which is now cut into Darius Slayton stuff. Which, by the way, I did correctly predict on here.
Oh, geez, here we go. Let me find a
absolutely.
Let me find a vial.
Listen, somebody's got to do it because the king doesn't give me enough kudos every now and then.
That is part of the thing. Is like the Giants are used to having guys like underachieve, and that's why they have a problem. Right now, they have a problem where Malachi Fields has played better than a 3rd round receiver. So
yeah.
Well, that's what I was saying before about the linemen. Like these the draft picks are starting to work out. We're just so used to getting burned by guys that don't do anything, and all of a sudden Fields looks good, and the backup, left tackle looks good, and all of a sudden the backup safety looks good. Like all of a sudden, some of these things are hitting.
I'll say this, like this is true. Anybody who's listening right now and is like, guys, it's the preseason. Like that's true. I agree. Like that's true.
Yeah.
But Evan Neal was bad in the preseason. So like sometimes like Kenny Golladay couldn't get open in practice. Kadarius Toney couldn't put his cleats on. Like sometimes it's clear even in the preseason what guys are going to be. And I think I'm pretty sure that Malachi Fields is going to be an NFL caliber wide receiver. The
And
guy that
this-
fooled me is like Jalen Hyatt. I thought was going to be a good player.
Yeah.
Like sometimes it's not, but sometimes it's not too early. Is my point.
Since
Speaking
you
of
also
that,
cover, go ahead,
let
Sean.
me ask this. Speaking of him, is there any trade value to Jalen Hyatt?
Zero.
Okay.
Zero. Everybody in the world knows the Giants are going to cut him. So
Okay.
Yeah. I was going to say, you know who Fields reminds me of since you covered the Jets? He reminds me of a little Keyshawn Johnson.
I mean, sure. The Jets. I mean, the
Body
Giants,
style type
the
of play.
#1
That's all.
pick in the draft.
Yeah. Just like body style and type of play. I think it reminded me a little bit of Keyshawn.
I don't know. Brandon Marshall comes to mind when I think about it. And I don't know. Brandon Marshall was thinner, I think, than Malachi Fields. I wonder how tall was Brandon. Brandon Marshall was 6'5". Yeah, I don't know. I think I see some Brandon Marshall in him, but we'll wait and see.
Yeah, we'll wait and see.
Yeah.
So the interesting question I got earlier in the show, way back, Alex jumped in here at 7:45. We normally keep the questions to last, but I think everybody wants to know the answer to this question. And then again, the landscape of the NFL has changed. We know with the 3 preseason games, it used to be your starters only played so much in one quarter, but they always played week 3. So I want to throw Alex's question up here. I'll read it out. What's up, boys? My only question is, why didn't Dart play? There's only 1 preseason game left, and it's not going to get him ready for Dallas. What are we doing? Now, a lot of ways to take that. You could say, yes, Dart's working on in a new offense. The more reps, the better, right? It's not like it's the same offensive coordinator, right? Then you could also say, man, did you see him get tattooed 2 weeks ago? We can't afford to let that happen. So where are we in this, Ryan? I know for me that I'm kind of on the fence. You know, I'd like to see him get some reps and work out some of those kinks. I know the Giants, like the other 31 NFL teams, they don't show you a lot in preseason.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe it's not worth him playing if they're not going to really work on those intricacies. What's your thought here on Dart not playing?
I think he should play against the Jets. I'll say that. As far as not playing against the Dolphins, Mike LaFleur, the Cardinals coach, said something interesting this weekend that the NFL, either the NFL or the NFLPA, I think it was the NFL, told them research-wise that the output in 2 joint practices is similar to playing a preseason game. So, like, players would get as much work or as much body, as much, all
Strain?
strain. Yeah, good call. In 2 joint practices as playing a full preseason game. So, like, they did 1. So that's, let's say, my math is good. Let's say that's like playing half of a preseason game. So to me, typically, and this is typical around the league, if you have the week you play joint practices, you typically don't play your starters. So he was, by all accounts, I wasn't there. He was awesome in the joint practices. The offense moved the ball up and down the field. It was a much needed confidence boost because the offense hadn't been good for the most part all summer. So to see them do well against the Dolphins, I don't think there was any need to mess with the good vibes that he got coming off that practice. No problem with him not playing, especially if you're not playing Andrew Thomas. I don't like playing your quarterback when you're not playing your offensive line. So no problem with him not playing, and I would like to see him play 15 plays, whatever, a long drive or 2 mid drives against the Jets.
I'm down with that. Sean, what about you? Your thoughts on Dart? I know we focused on him getting tattooed last week, right? That was definitely a point of contention for all of us. But, man, I don't think enough people are making hay about that throw. Stepping up in the pocket.
Oh, yeah.
Sliding to the left, rolling and hitting the dude. I'm not, and I'll preface this again. I am not calling him Pat Mahomes. I'm not calling him Josh Allen. I'm just saying that throw to be able to step up, then to slide left, roll left, and hit the guy. I mean, a wonderful throw. Like, that should just shut a lot of people up.
Yeah.
He has that gear. He has the Mahomes gear. The problem is Mahomes can do it 15 times a game, 17 games a year.
Right.
Like Dart has that button in his arsenal. It's just a matter of like, does he have Mahomes has that plus all the like old school fundamentals. Dart has shown us more of the playground style than he has the fundamentals.
Fair enough.
And plus, with that joint practice, he got more out of that than he would out of playing in his preseason game when you're going against the Dolphins backups, right? Like, it makes no sense. Just to get him reps, you want quality reps, and that's what he got in that joint practice, quality reps. You see more. There's more blitzes. There's more things going on because there's no film of it out there that people, you put it on film, put it on the game. So, no, I got zero issue with that. I kind of expected it. And, of course, people want to see him play. I get it. I understand. They feel like he needs a lot of reps. So I understand the question. But, again, you have to factor in how much went on at joint practice and how much more you get out of a joint practice than you do at preseason week 2. So he was going up against the ones. It was ones versus ones. It was very physical. There was blitzing. There was disguises going on. So he got to see a lot. And, to Ryan's point, he did really well there. So that's good. And I think, to me, I feel like a quarter, if he can play a quarter on against the Jets, that would be pretty good. I would like to see a quarter, but I also want to keep him healthy because we know what happens when they play the Jets. There is that whole little thing, and I don't necessarily trust the Jets not to try to, not maliciously injure, but, they might go a little more aggressive than normal, and I want our guys healthy for Dallas. So if he can play a quarter or if he can play, 3 or 4 drives, whatever, I'm good with that.
Yeah, I was hitting the old heartbeat fast there because when the Jets,
I was wondering what that was. I was like, "What's going on?"
yeah,
in my
like
ear?
when the
Like,
Jets
I'm
and the
hitting
Giant, when the Jets and Giants play preseason, it's this
Yeah.
heartbeat, baby, because I'm like just make it through this game, right? And you know what? And what I wanted to ask Ryan about this Jets game is where are we from an offensive line perspective? Like who's healthy, who's not, and where are we with these guys? Because they definitely seem to have had a very good West Virginia camp. They seem, and then JMS gets dinged. A couple guys got dinged. Where are we?
JMS is back healthy, playing center. Backup center is a roster spot competition between Lucas Patrick, who has a chronically balky knee, and Brian Hudson, who benefited from playing some first team snaps while Patrick and Schmitz were out. So I think that's one of those two guys will be on the 9 who make it. I don't think both will be. You have your 2 backup tackles. You have your 2 starting tackles. Andrew Thomas has made it through the summer without any kind of nicks or setbacks or whatever, which is huge. Illuminor is healthy. Runyon played in the game. Runyon hasn't missed a practice. He played in the game just so that Schmitz had somebody next to him that he's, used to communicating with. And then right guard is Cece, who had the stinger. I don't know if he practiced today. Harbaugh said if he didn't have the stinger, he was going to play in the preseason game if he was healthy. So he was going to have all 3 interior guys play. I don't know if CC practiced today. Let me see if there's anything on here. Let's see here.
I think he was.
You said it would be back. Yeah, expect him to be back tomorrow. So he should be on the field Tuesday. So there you go. So your 5 starters are totally healthy, and you have your 2 backup tackles, and then you have your competition at center between Patrick and Hudson, and then your guard. Oh, Azudu. That's the guy. That's the guy I never thought would matter that all of a sudden matters because he's probably the 9th. Azudu and Stinney are probably the top backup guards. So if you keep 9 or 10, it's probably a battle between those 2 guys. Stinney's probably on it. And then Azudu is probably looking at number 53 or number 54.
Sean, you got a preference, Stinney over Azudu?
Well, it depends on where they play Azudu. If they keep him and they use him at guard, then that's where he should be. I don't want them keeping Azudu and keep using him as tackle. He should not be playing tackle. Like
he's not playing tackle. Yeah. They're rotating him in practice, I guess, or in the preseason game. I think he kicked out to tackle late in the game, but they have their 2 backup tackles. There's no need for him to play tackle.
So I don't have I mean, I like Stinney because he's got a Super Bowl pedigree. He's got that. So, and he's a reliable backup that goes in, does a good job. I mean, either one is fine by me. If I had to lean, if you're asking me, I might lean Stinney just because of the vet presence that he
Yeah.
has, and he's been successful in the league as a backup. So you're going to get solid play from him.
All right. Then I got to ask this question. Well, actually, I'm going to preface it with this. Ryan, you ever been anywhere where you're checking your phone or you're checking Twitter, or you're checking Instagram, and like you see something and then it registers, but you zip through it because maybe you were coaching T-ball. You don't remember if the source was any good?
All the time.
Okay, good. So I'm glad you said that. Because I saw a report today, and I don't want this to get out there that I'm lobbing out bad information, but I saw a report and I don't know if it was a good source or not. So please, since you are part of the Rush family and you're with us a lot, don't kill me for saying this if I'm off base here. But is there some type of conversations going on with Zeitler that is still something that's being discussed? Because I saw that today.
That would be news to me. I've never seen that there were any I've never seen reliably that there were any real negotiations with Zeitler. Like, did they check in on him? Yeah, let's say, did they check in on him? Let's say I wouldn't be surprised. But I've never heard that they talked numbers or anything. So to even say still, I don't think there were ever numbers really discussed. So to answer your question, no, I did not see anything like that today. I think that's fan fiction, but
that's why I prefaced it when I saw it really quick, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know if that one is the best thing to lead the show with.
I just Googled Kevin Zeitler's name on Twitter, and there's Ravens fans, we should sign him. There's Packers fans, we should sign him. I think that's every fan just looking at best top guard available right now and wanting Kevin Zeitler.
Good. Okay. Like I said, I prefaced it ahead of time because I was saying I saw it in the blink of an eye, and I'm like, yeah, I should probably try to, make sure that is good or bad news. Sean, you're at the game.
Yeah.
Anything stick out to you? Because again, it looks different when you're in the stadium. I try to tell people that all the time. But anything stuck out for you from a defensive perspective? We talked about Fields. We talked about Dart playing. Ryan just gave us a lowdown on the offensive line, who's healthy, who's not. On the defensive side, anything that pop out? Listen, we know Reese is coming as advertised, right? We talked about it early on. Anything outside of Reese and Banks that made you feel better about kicking this season off?
Yeah, so two names I'll come up with. So one thing I saw was Tyler Newbin made a nice pass breakup over a deep middle pass, which we haven't seen him make in years. He looked a little faster. He looked a little more aggressive, a little more confident than I've seen in the past. And then Chauncey Golston is just a guy I talked about last year that should have been playing more. I don't know how Bowen couldn't figure out how to use him. It still blows my mind. But I like that they're using him, more inside more, which is good because that just makes him better. So that's a guy I think is going to factor in more than maybe people realize. He stood out to me from what I saw, and he's a big dude too. So with that, I did see what I did notice from the sideline is there's good camaraderie with the players, both defensively and offensively. You see guys talking to each other. You see guys helping each other out. It wasn't just lip service saying that, Harbaugh's saying, these guys are rooting for each other. They're trying to help each other, even if they are competing with each other. You saw a lot of it. I did anyway on the sideline. Just a lot of guys talking with each other, which was good. I saw, Beckham talking with the coaching staff quite a bit. He was involved with other players as well. So he was very active. And, I think for me, just real quick, is like, I know it's production, but you can't always judge that with players making the team in the preseason because there's more to it. Like what I look at is this. So like Slayton and Beckham were playing against the same type of players. They played almost the same amount of time. They played the first half basically, right? But when you look at the route running for me, this is what I look at. And if it doesn't matter to the people, that's fine. I understand that, but it matters to me. Their Slayton got open. I know there was one time he got open in the end zone on Beckham's drop and he wasn't thrown to him. But when you look at that same route between Slayton, Beckham, and a couple other guys, it's not as crisp. It's not as sharp. It's not as quick, in my opinion. And he beat a guy who probably may not even be in the roster, right? So Is Beckham doing that? Yeah, of course he's doing that. But when you look at how he's running the route and the sharpness, the crispness of his route, there's a noticeable difference between Beckham and other guys that I watched run routes this weekend. And I think coaches see that. Now, will it factor in? I don't know, but it is something coaches notice. I don't know how much they're going to factor in production in the preseason, because from what I saw, a lot of the play calls were going opposite side to Beckham. Like Winston was not saying it's a conspiracy to not throw the ball to Beckham. I'm saying wherever the play call was and whatever the defense lined up, Winston was looking the opposite side of the field the majority of the time when it came to that. So
I mean,
I'm
you had
curious to see.
Slayton had 4 catches. Cambry had 3 catches. Austin had 2. Tracy had
Camber
3.
was playing in the third and fourth quarter. That's another reason why I don't think he's going to make the 53. Like he was playing late into the game. He didn't get in until late in the game with that. And Slayton, yeah, he had a nice catch over the middle, but he had another catch that looked Slayton-esque where it looked like he was going to drop it, right? So again, I'm not bagging on Darius Slayton. I'm just pointing out the differences for me, looking at how they run the routes. Slayton did not have the crispness, the sharpness, that you could see from Beckham. Now, if Beckham doesn't make a roster, am I going to be disappointed? No. If he makes a roster, that's great. I'm just telling you what I see with my eyes, and I saw it firsthand with the route running there.
Two things, boys, before I go. On the defense, we didn't mention Drew Phillips at all. He actually had 2 forced fumbles in this game on back-to-back plays. This goes back to what I was saying a minute ago, that like some guys just are who they are. New coaching staff, Drew Phillips is Drew Phillips. Like he's still too handsy in coverage. He got a defensive pass interference on a play where he ends up giving up a 30-yard pass anyway. And then he's super physical in the run game. And that's going to keep him on the field under this defensive, under Harbaugh and under Bernard Wilson. A physical nickel corner is going to be on the field. So he actually ends up with 2 forced fumbles on back-to-back plays. Our Darius Washington's going to play. As big as Najee Harris is as small as our Darius Washington is. He's remarkably small on the field. But he's versatile. He'll steal some snaps at safety. He'll steal some snaps at slot corner, almost like Tony Jefferson a couple years ago. Different looking player, but kind of that same versatility from that Ravens mold. So I would highlight Drew Phillips. And then 30,000-foot view. My takeaway from the whole week of the Giants is that they don't suck anymore. And I say that kind of callously, but that's just the best way to say it. Like somebody said to me, can the Giants avoid last place today? And I was like, I don't know. I'm not guaranteeing that they can.
In the division or in the league?
No, in the division. The division. Am I sure they're better than any of the other 3 teams? No, I'm not sure of it. But like what I am sure is that like if they're a last place team, they're like a 7 or 8 win last place team and not a 3-win team. They're no longer in the Dolphins category, in the Cardinals category, in the Browns category, in the Jets category, in the Raiders category. Like they're not that. And that's what they've been for 2 years, and really 4 out of 5 years is they've been, the bottom of the NFL. And I'm convinced after this week, after they manhandled the Dolphins, who might be the worst of the worst, that they are not that anymore. That like, if I told you, I'm looking at this right now. If I told you, here we go. Last year's Dolphins were 7-10, 3rd place. Last year's Bengals were 6-11, 3rd place. The Colts were an 8-9, 3rd place team. Like if you told me that was the Giants, I'd say, okay, like that's probably what they are. Last year's Colts, an 8-9, 3rd place team. Or last year, the Lions finished last place at 8-9. The Lions were last place at 9-8. The Falcons were at 3rd place at 8-9. That's what the Giants are. They are no longer 4-13. They are 7-10, 8-9, something like that. And to me, that is a significant step forward. Like they are no longer a laughing stock. That's what I'm convinced of.
And they could catch a little fire, right, if things go their way.
Sure.
Now you said
Sure.
2 things. You said 2 things. Was that the first thing? Is there a second one?
Drew Phillips was the first
Drew
thing.
Phillips
Drew
first.
Phelps was the first one. All right. Well, then look, go do your thing. Go hang with the family, get some dinner, maybe read some bedtime stories, and
Yeah.
we'll see you in 2 weeks because we are creeping up here. Remember, we got to talk. We got to come up. We're going to come up with a Ryan Dunleavy super cool feature for this year. We have to work on that.
2 Mondays from now will be regular season week 1. So we'll do it then.
Perfect. We will see you then.
Thanks,
See ya.
Ryan.
All right, Ryan. Thanks, buddy. There you go, Ryan Dunleavy from the Post. Make sure you guys are following him. I don't see the Commanders better than the Giants. I just don't. I think they got
we're
I think they got
better.
quarterback issues. I think they got defense issues. I just
not. I think our roster is better. That's the one thing I can confidently say is the Giants roster is better than the Commanders roster.
I mean, listen, I'm not gonna lie. Teams that have superstar players win games, right? Because almost all winning teams, playoff teams, they've got like either a star quarterback, a star running back, a star wide receiver, star tight end, and a star, left tackle and a star defensive end. So you have to ask yourself, let me write it down, right? So you got QB, running back, wide receiver, tight end. Then you need edge, left tackle. What am I missing? Left tackle, and we'll say linebacker, just in,
Yeah.
All right. So, Dart is young, but are you taking Dart over Jaden Daniels right now?
Right now, yeah. Right now.
Yes. K-Mac says Jaden's mom's going to be pissed. Funny. I'm taking. I think Dart's got a bigger upside right now than Jaden Daniels does. Is he better than Hurts? No, Hurts been in the league for 8 years,
absolutely.
Right?
Right.
Prescott. I mean, they love him and hate him. So, but the guy
he's
throws
definitely-
throws a 5,000 yards, right?
Yeah.
Running back, does anyone in the league right now have a better running back duo than, or even if you want to go 3 deep, does anybody have a backfield that's better than the Giants?
I mean, Philly.
But it's just Barkley.
Their back was pretty good too. I forget his name right now.
I thought he left. The other running back from Penn State. I thought he left, but that's all right. So the Eagles. Dallas, who's I don't know, Mark Thompson's probably not here. Give me the
their backfield's not better than ours.
Dallas.
I don't remember names offhand, but yeah, Dallas is not better than ours in my opinion.
I mean, Washington's got a good back.
They do.
But again, it's one back. The whole backfield, I think the Giants have an edge there.
I mean, if we get Najee Harris of the 4,000-yard, seasons in a row, then that vaults us higher up. Absolutely.
Now, wide receiver room, it's going to be a little bit tough. The Eagles, though, losing A.J. Brown is a huge deal, I would have to think.
Yeah.
Devontae Smith being asked to be a number 1 is a lot. And then Dallas, they're a little bit older.
Dallas got a number 1 wide receiver room in the conference easily.
Oh, yes. But I'm just saying they're
easily.
on a little bit on the older side. I don't know. Washington's got
Terry McLaurin's on the other side. They got
McLaren.
Who they got now? Is it Debo they got? Who the heck did they?
No, Debo's gone, isn't he?
Yeah. Washington's, in my opinion, Washington's wide receiver room is not good.
Tight end. I mean, Dallas Goedert's a great tight end, but I mean, again, the guy's been in the league 10, 12 years. I don't know.
I see. Here's the thing: are you gonna go on potential? Or are you gonna go on what was done before? Because likely to me can be the number 1 tight end in the conference.
Yes,
but he didn't have the production because he was behind Mark Edwards. But as far as potential, I think he can be the number 1 tight end in the conference. And that's
you did with Mark Andrews in front of you.
He hasn't played for the Giants yet. That's going off what I saw in Baltimore.
Yep. I mean, when you have Mark Andrews in front of you, it's really hard to break out.
Yeah, and who's Dallas? Who's their tight end now?
They've got Ferguson. Ferguson.
who's good. He's probably the number one tight end
Yep.
right
I
now.
mean, technically, Goddard's by statistics, Goddard would be the best tight end. But I mean, Goddard's been banged up and he's older. I don't know. I think likely could be the best tight end, if not second best tight end in the NFC. How about your pass rushers, your edges? I mean, I don't know anybody that's got a young. I mean, who's got I mean, we've got 3 pass rushers under 25.
Yeah, I don't think. I don't think anybody does have what we have between Carter, Burns, and Tibbs.
And throw in, I'm sure Reese is going to rush the quarterback.
I don't. I mean, I don't think so. I think we got the edge in linebackers when it comes to that. Somebody else can correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think anybody does.
Left tackle. I mean, we know AT gets screwed every single year, but he's a top 5
left tackle in our conference easily.
Yeah, and he's a top 5 in the league
easily.
Atlantic wants to know if we have a better offensive line than Dallas. We're gonna find out.
Yeah, Dallas's O-line has gone down, so I think it's gonna be close. I think us and Dallas will be close. I don't think Philly has the best O-line in the conference anymore.
I don't know. And again, they're long in the tooth.
Yeah, so I think us and Dallas could be the top O-lines in the conference.
So, like, I mean, if I circle here, I mean, edge goes to the Giants, right? Your linebackers are going to go to the Giants.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's fair.
Your tight end, your number 2, potentially number 2.
Yeah, potentially. Again, that's potential.
I mean, right now your wide receiver room is probably not up to par with the rest of the league.
That's where we struggle. Again, but we're going to be a different type of team, so we don't need the wide receiver room that some other teams have. I mean, again, we have a fullback, we have the tight end, and then we have Malik Neighbors. So that's really what's going to be there.
Yeah, the biggest thing. So, Washington, Dallas, they all have a great 1 and 2. We just don't have a great 1 and 2. We got a great 1 and a whole bunch of 2s, and our tight end might become number 2. Unless Fields really pops, and then it'll change it around. But right now, yes, wide receiver, is a little bit of the weak link. But I'm gonna put Dart ahead of Daniels. I'm gonna put likely, behind Ferguson. Because I know how good Goddard is, but he's old and banged up.
Yeah.
I think our linebackers and our edges are the best in the league. I think our left tackle is the best in the conference.
I agree.
So I think there's really good things to come from this team, and you're going to have the biggest thing will always be is there are dogs that come and win you games, right? Like there are guys, and the league's changed. But there used to be guys that you would win you games. Lawrence Taylor won you games. Tiki Barber won you games. Leonard Marshall won you games. You could handpick a bunch of other dudes. Saquon Barkley won you games. Shockey won you games. There's been guys. OCU Manura, Michael Strahan won you games. Of course, Eli Manning wins you games. Phil Simms wins you games.
I think Burns and Carter can win us games. I think Neighbors can win us games. I think
Neighbors, by the way, has to win you games.
Yeah, I think likely can win us games.
Yes,
from that standpoint. And I think I know Alex mentioned about corners, but here's what I think: like, you don't need shutdown corners to have a good secondary. Like, our pass rush is going to make our secondary look better. That's the key. The blitzing, the scheming that Denard Wilson does, I think that's what's going to help our secondary. Their physicality is going to help. So this Harbaugh's not going to extend people. Like if Ardarius Washington starts playing better than Tyler Nubin or Javon Howland, Washington's going to get more playing time. If he's playing better than Andrew Phillips, he's going to get more playing time. Like, to me, Harbaugh's shown that. Like, whoever's playing the best is going to play. It's not, as our good buddy Kyle Banks say, they're not on scholarships anymore. Like, and Harbaugh doesn't coach that way from what we've seen so far. Right. So I do think, I feel like our I feel like our pass rush is going to be really, really good. And I think the guys want to be really, really good. Like
I got
more so
to.
than, go ahead.
No. Go ahead. More so.
More so than in years past. Like I think that yeah, there's been words that are out there, but I feel like these guys are not only saying it, but they're saying it differently, and they're also feeding off of each other. Like when you look at Tibbs, Burns, Carter, and Reese and Edmonds, all those guys together, like they understand what their strengths are, they understand what their weaknesses are, and they're going to feed off each other and push each other. Like this has the potential to be of the Giants linebackers of the past, like when we had really good linebackers. I think
Yep.
this unit could be that. I'm not going to say they're going to be, that. I think they have the potential to be really, really good. And I think they have the potential to drive each other and push each other to be better. And by all accounts, if Abdul Carter's playing the way that the reports are, I think I think he can be a difference maker this year. If you got him and Burns coming off the edge, like good luck to people, right? Like get him in passing downs.
Here's a little bit of a hot take. I think that Harbaugh is going to have more success with Dart than he did with Lamar Jackson.
Whoa. Wow, that is a hot take.
Now, that's not a slight on anyone. Lamar Jackson's a great quarterback, right?
Yeah.
I mean, multi MVP. I think that Dart, he's going to have more success with Dart than he did with Lamar. Because I think that Lamar is such a great quarterback that it was like Lamar's team.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And I think Lamar did Lamar, and I think Dart will do Harbaugh.
Okay. Careful how you say that, by the way.
Why, was that bad?
Yeah. Dart's going to do Harbaugh.
Oh, okay. See,
why is your mind wisely, Craig?
Why's your mind got to go to the gutter?
Because it just does. It's the way it works. And
Lamar's a multi MVP. Define success. Individual, what defines success? Individual stats like MVPs are making Super Bowl. Yeah, okay, great point, JM. So I think, again, Lamar's so good, and I think Lamar can do it by himself, right? Doing Lamar. I think Dart will have more success running whatever Harbaugh wants to run. And I think it'll be more like less of like JM was talking about, less individual stats and MVPs. I think more because I think Dart will never be as physical. He doesn't have the physical tools that Lamar has. So if you don't have the physical tools to do it on your own, you're gonna abide by the system more. And if the system works, like Tom Brady was not the most physically gifted quarterback in the NFL, right?
No.
But what Tom Brady did so well was he worked in that system so well that he's the best of all time, right? Because he knew when to get rid of the ball. He knew when to throw underneath. He had the touch pass. He knew exactly what everybody's strengths and weaknesses were on the field. But he wasn't the most physically gifted quarterback.
No, and I'm not saying Lamar is this way when I make this statement about Dart, so I want to be very clear about that. I think Dart will be less concerned about individual stats and more concerned with team stats, wins, victories, things like that. I think he's okay doing whatever it takes to help the team win. And again, let me be very clear. I'm not saying Lamar is that way at all. I'm saying, to me, the impression I've got from Dart is he's going to do whatever the team needs because he just wants to win.
Yeah, and I think you're right in line with what I'm saying. I think that Lamar is more physically gifted than Dart. So I think Dart folds into the system like Tom Brady. Again, not comparing Tom Brady and Dart. But if Dart can run the system and learn to run the system that way, Lamar just knows, hey, if you can't do this, dude, I'll do it on my own because he's such a freak of nature, right? I think if we're running, we got Nagy and Roman and we got all these systems in place, I think that Harbaugh will have more success with the system guy because he's running what he wants to run, right? And
I think-
Drew says that Lamar's a better runner, but Dart could be a better passer potentially. So let's segue there for just a quick second, right?
Okay.
I'm going to ask you a bunch of questions. You tell me what you think, or if you know the answer. How many 4,000-yard seasons has Lamar had? Now, Lamar's been in the league 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He's going on his 9th year in the league.
Okay.
How many, without looking, of course,
Of course.
and nobody in the chat give it away, how many 4,000-yard seasons does he have passing the ball?
I'm going to say 3.
Okay. You're wrong. He has 1.
Wow. Okay.
All right. How many 3,000-yard seasons does Lamar have?
I'm going to say 4.
He's got 2.
Wow.
How many 2,000-yard seasons does he have?
I'll go with 5.
4.
Oh, I was going to go 4 again, but I decided not to.
How many 1,000-yard plus seasons does he have?
1.
Correct. 1. That was his rookie year.
Yeah.
So my question is, and I think kind of what Drew was saying a minute ago, is Dart has the potential of being a better passer, working the system that he's in.
Right.
And because I would expect a guy like Dart to throw for 3,000 yards every season. Sometimes he hits a 4, right? But I would expect him to throw for 28 to 3,500 yards a season.
Especially with how we're going to run the ball, I believe.
Now,
So
rushing. So let me ask you, let me look at his rushing stats for a second. Where's Lamar's rushing stat? All right. This guy, Lamar Jackson, is a freak, man. He really is. How many 1,000-yard seasons does Lamar have rushing?
I'm going to say 5.
2.
Wow.
How many 900 yards rushing seasons does Lamar have?
3.
1.
Wow.
How many 800-yard seasons does he have?
4.
1.
Huh.
So he has, but he has, he's got 1 8, 1 9. He's got 2 7s, 1 6. Really, it's 700. It's 695. His rookie year was 695, and he's got 2,000-yard receivers. He's got a total of 9 seasons. He's got 6,500 yards rushing. I don't want my quarterback running for 6,500 yards.
Yeah. Well,
You know?
you don't know how much of that was scrambling too and avoiding sacks. But what it also tells me when you look at those stats and what we just determined is Harbaugh's going to run the ball.
Yeah. And Drew, I do need a third monitor. It just, I have the second monitors on my other desk. See, look at it. Ready? See it over there? But thank you, Drew, for looking out for me. So I say that not in anything negative on Lamar Jackson. I just think
so
in
by
that
more
system,
success, that means you think that, in other words, that they're going to have to they'll get to the Super Bowl where he did not get the Super Bowl with Lamar.
Say that one more time. Let me sit that sink in.
So they won a lot in Baltimore.
Oh yeah,
So
100%.
by more success to you, that means the Giants will make the Super Bowl under Harbaugh, where they did not make it with Lamar.
I see more playoff wins, division wins, NFC championships,
Okay.
Super Bowl appearances. I could see that happening if Dart runs this system. Now, again, here's the caveat: the system that they put into place has to work. Like,
Right,
see,
of
that's the
course.
difference. When you've got a guy like Lamar, he's so good. If the system fails him, he does it on his own. Right. So I don't think, like I said, Dart is not physically gifted as Lamar. He's gifted, but not to the level of Lamar.
course.
So if the system doesn't work, Dart will fail, right? Because he can only do so much on his own. He's not Lamar. So, but I think if the system works, these guys could be a perennial NFC East champion, an NFC champion, and be there right with where they were with Baltimore, but win more NFC championships and maybe get more Super Bowl appearances. If the system has to work.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting because I think Harbaugh has more power here than he did in Baltimore. So we're gonna see if Harbaugh's system actually works in full, like 100% Harbaugh system. Because again, Daniel Faalele was a 2-year starter in Baltimore, and Harbaugh traded him away here. He wasn't doing anything. So how much of that? I believe more of that was Eric DaCosta. So when you talk about the system, I think we're going to get a true idea of what Harbaugh's system did from not just the games, but from the construction of the roster. So I'm very curious to see what Dart and those guys do and how physical it's going to be. I'm very curious, and there's going to be a lot of comparisons to what Baltimore does and what the Giants do. Like it's going to be natural over the next several years to see what Baltimore's success, Lamar's success, and what happens here. So,
and look, and so remember, I'm the biggest Dart guy here, right? So I'm always pro Dart all the way back to USC. I'm sure. So I don't know how long you've been hanging out with us. And by the way, thank you for hanging out. Hope you subscribe to the YouTube channel. No, I think Dart did a wonderful job in a crappy system last year. Poor Lamar's never had as Drew pointed out to us a couple minutes ago, Lamar's never had a wide receiver with over 700 yards. It's really six. I think if Drew's correct, 682. Thank you for that, Drew. So, they've been a tight end heavy team with, Mark Andrews, and then, Say Flowers did, step up, but those guys don't have 1,000-yard receiving years. So I just think overall that, Dart just may be more, if he plays system ball and the system works, I see a lot of success for the Giants. I really think, again, I'm a little ashamed to say it. I didn't want to them having all these coaches, but some of all these Super Bowl winning coaches and these NFL coaches, these, between Callahan and Roman and Nagy, all these guys, sometimes just there's too many chiefs, right? In the organization. So I hope it works out and it doesn't implode when you get power struggles. But I think Dart wants to throw the ball. The guy threw for 12,000 yards and 82 touchdowns at Ole Miss. So I know he wants to throw the ball. I'm sure he's not loving the fact that they're going to pound the rock, but I think that Dart can have more success if the system works. Lamar was going to have success wherever he was and in whatever system he is, because he's just freaky, twitchy. And, and again, he's really come a long way as a passer, without a doubt. But we need Dart to throw for 3,000 yards every year.
Yeah, see, I think here's the thing, though. I'm going to go back to the coaches. I don't think there's big egos with this coaching staff where you would with some other guys potentially. I think these guys understand that where they are, what they need to do, what Harbaugh's looking for, and Harbaugh is a true CEO. He manages these guys, so I don't see that as being big egos. How are they going to coexist? I think these guys are all working together because they understand they're working towards one goal, and that's Harbaugh's goal and what he wants. And these guys are going to be able to do it. And again, Brian Callahan is a quarterback coach. That's a great move to get him as a quarterback coach.
Great, great, right? Again, as long as it's working, right? I sadly. And don't kill me for it. Sadly, I'm resting on one line that Nagy said 2 weeks ago. I think it was the 1 week you were off.
Okay.
Nagy said, because it was like Dart didn't have a good day and they're killing Dart, blah, blah, blah. And Nagy said, if the plays don't work, we'll throw them out.
Yeah.
He's like, we got enough plays that if a play doesn't work, we'll throw it out. And I'm resting on that because I don't want them to change what makes Dart Dart. You know what I mean? Like you're forcing him to go under center. You're forcing him to pound the rock. I just don't want them to take away what's made him so successful as a player.
I don't think they will. I don't think Harbaugh will allow it to happen. I mean, Harbaugh said that he was going to use Dart like they used Lamar. Like, So when you combine Roman and Iggy working together, which, again, being there, you saw the difference with what they were doing. It was clear this week they wanted to get downfield a little bit more. They did. They ran the ball, but they got the ball to receivers downfield a little bit more. So I don't see them trying to. We're not going to know what it is until games start playing. You're not going to see anything in the
Yeah.
preseason. Not going to give anything away, right? But again, based on what they did in the joint practice against the Dolphins, that to me that says, okay, we're in a good state. So I'm not going to panic until week 3.
Oh yeah, no
Of
panic,
this
no
season.
panic.
Now I'm not saying you're panicking. I'm just
Yeah.
saying in general.
And for the record, if you follow Baltimore at all, like again, these are not talent comparisons. This is attitude comparisons. I got Scattaboo and Najee Harris to be my Derrick Henry, and I got Likely to be my Andrews, and I got Slayton and Mooney, I guess it would be, or / Austin to be my Zay Flowers, right? So, I don't think Harbaugh is reinventing the wheel here at all, right? It's just, it's a little different style. Dart's a little different. Scattaboo's a little bit different, right?
Fields too. That's a different receiver than he had in Baltimore for sure.
And you nailed it. I was going to say the only thing that sticks out for me, it might be Fields. Fields is not a typical Baltimore style player, and there might be one that I'm just mistaking, but I think I like my Keyshawn Johnson comparison. I do like the Brandon Marshall comparison that Ryan
Chris
had
had
a
a
couple
good one
minutes
with
ago.
Herman Moore. So
Herman Moore, yeah, sure,
yeah.
like all those things. Housekeeping, gentlemen. We're going to be getting the fantasy football live here within the next couple of days. If you want to play fantasy football, go to nygiantsrush.com, hit fantasy football. It used to be $50, and we took a poll, and everybody said up it to 75. So we're going to up it to 75. What does that mean? Every year we give out autographed jerseys for the first place winner, and then a consolation prize for the second place winner. We've given away autographed Hakeem Nicks, Amani Toomer, and who's my last one, Sean? Hakeem Nicks. Oh, Carl Banks.
Carl Banks.
Yeah, so we've given away. First year we gave away was Amani Toomer. Second year was Hakeem Nicks. Third year was Carl Banks. I don't know who this year will be because they're always a surprise, right? They're very nice. They come out with the certificate, to prove it's, that it's authentic. So if you want to play fantasy football, you're into it. You can ping Spartan Mike, but it'll be live in the next 72 hours. Go to nygiantsrush.com. Now there is good content up there during the season. We'll pick up when guys are writing stuff. Like right now, we're not writing a whole lot, so we'll get some stuff up there. Plus, my man Spencer Kessler, he's off at college, I think now as a freshman, so he'll come in strong with some articles and stuff. But you can register right through the website. Spartan Mike runs our fantasy football. We've got some returning people. It's always a lot of fun. And then we have our preview show with Chris. You guys know him. We call him Nails, Carb Crush. He does our Wednesday preview show, which you'll see coming up on Wednesdays. If you want to hang with Chris, sometimes Sean drops in. I'll drop in a couple times. I'll let Chris do his thing there. He loves roster movements and stuff like that. And then Mondays, of course, Giants Rush here at 7:30. Hey, and we appreciate you guys. If you guys have friends, tell a friend to tell a friend. Help us grow that YouTube channel. It does help us out a ton. If you guys can tell some people to subscribe to it, it's just a button. You click on it. You have no idea how much that helps us out and the algorithms and what we do on the back end. We've got some new sponsors coming in this year. We're looking to do some bigger and better things, but it's not our fault. It's not our day job. So, we're doing the best we can behind the scenes. You already heard Sean was hanging out with the McFaddens this week in Miami since they're Tampa boys. So, we'll be live at the games. Sean's coming in. Chris and I are there each week. We've got Big Blue Barbecue stuff to give away this year. I think we have 5 wristbands. I think they're worth like $50 a pop. So if you are coming to the stadium, you win a wristband, you get to eat and drink for free. Maybe just eat. Wait, I think the beer is gone because I think MetLife cracked down on it. I think it's food. All you could eat for free if you win one of the wristbands that we'll be giving away. So that's kind of much all I got. Anything that we left out that you wanted to hit on? Because we're coming up on 9:20. We went real long.
Yeah, no, I think you hit it all. I think it's I think we covered a lot of good things tonight. So, as always, good. Gina should be back next week producing. We're getting that much closer to regular season. So, regular season, we'll bring back Love Hate. Maybe we'll bring out another segment as well. We're gearing up as well. This is our preseason. So when we get in season.
You want to do one? I don't think there's any questions in here, but you want to hit one last drive or no?
I don't know if we had any questions in here.
I didn't really see any more questions. We hit most of them.
We answer the ones as they went along. So we will get back into doing one last drive when the season starts. With that, which will be good. So I think we got some good things in the works. A lot of exciting
and
things.
Thanks for all you new folks, popping in. There's like 117 of you guys cruising by on a Monday night in the summertime. So we appreciate it. Like I said, all I ask is help us grow the show. Tell your friends, get them to subscribe, follow us on Twitter. So in an Instagram. I'm trying to grow the Instagram account, trying to get more content up there.
Whoever.
Yeah. Get them all. So that's all I got. I guess we'll see you guys next Monday. Peace. Go